Hello everyone, my name is Theo Eschart from HSEvents, and I'm delighted to welcome you to today's webinar. Get your team using your DAM fast and easy, kindly sponsored by CI HUB. During the session, please send through your questions at any point using the questions box on your GoToWebinar side panel. Also a reminder that a recording of this session will be sent to you tomorrow so you can view it again at your own pace. Now it's my great pleasure to pass you over to Andreas Michalski and Gerd Glaser from CI HUB. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Theo. It's an amazing pleasure to be on that webinar again. I'm here with my colleague Gerd. He is actually in the same room right beside me. And it's a huge pleasure to have all of you here. And today we would love to introduce our idea on how we believe that we and you can leverage your investment in your DAM system better than before, and how you can enable your team to work together faster. And what is really important today, how can we do that in a much easier way than before? We do have prepared a little bit of slides, giving you a little bit of background and how we think about that and what is it all about with CI HUB. And then we will also show you two of our products live, and this will be conducted by Gerd. But to start, we would like to give you a short intro, and so I would love to hand over to Gerd, and Gerd will tell you what we are not talking about. Gerd, over to you. It's a pleasure having all of you, and I do see we have, I think this is one of the most requested webinar so far. I think we have almost 250 people, and it's an amazing pleasure that what we're doing is generating so much interest. So it's really cool. Thanks for the time. We try to make that a little bit not too boring. So Gerd, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. So welcome to all of you. My name is Gerd, and I will walk you through some of our slides right now. So first one is, what are we talking about today? I think we're not talking about the digital supply chain, which we did a few weeks ago already. And we're also not talking about the asset lifecycle. These are the things that are done in a perfect manner by every DAM system right now. But what we want to talk about is the touch points the users have when they are using a digital asset management. So it's mainly about every interaction when it comes to managing a DAM system. Starts with create content, with enhance content, distribute it, find and retrieve. And then it starts again with nest and link assets, combine assets, which creates also new assets again. And finally, approval steps and all that, and maybe the creation process starts again. Why do we want to talk about these things right now is because we think the constant switch between app and DAM, this is something where we have the highest potential for optimization. And this happens almost in every interaction between the user and the data source, which is mostly the DAM system. And it's also a reliability potential that exists in almost every process when it comes to content creation with external data sources. And last but not least, it's the economic potential that exists in almost every workflow where all kind of data is produced and consumed. So that's the reason where we're talking about. And to get in more detail, optimization potential in interaction means the users or the creative people should have less distraction, which comes automatically if they do less window hopping, going back and forth between systems. It's also less data handling That means not downloading an asset from a DAM system, store it locally, and then use it in an application like InDesign or Photoshop. And it's also a way of easy sharing content direct within the application. That's where we see is the most optimization potential, because you don't have to store every stuff locally, then go into the browser, move it to the DAM and make it there available. And when it comes to finding assets, also should have available the in-app search. That means I don't want to leave my application, my authoring tool, which I'm currently using, whether it's PowerPoint or Adobe InDesign or whatever authoring tool, to find assets which are stored in a cloud-based system. I want to do the search in-app. And also, if I'm using the content from a DAM, I would like to use it always in context of my actual work. So this is where we see a great potential in the interaction. But when it comes to reliability, that means having brand compliance, ensure that everyone is using approved content only. It can come with digital rights management or a version control, for example. And also, we want to have the DAM as a single source of truth. So this is the place where I get my brand compliant material, my approved material, and there's no other place where I should look at. And also the data security, of course. And when it comes to economic potential, we want to leverage the return on investment when it comes to DAM or the brand investment. And also if it comes in return on investment for any application or authoring tool you're using. And the thing we call the user-based silo crossing, which means every company maybe has some systems running, and there are existing silos in every company somewhere. And to avoid these silos, we want to say that's the reason to use CI HUB, because you can work in one single interface, whatever system is connected, so you don't need to work in silos anymore. Also, when it comes to IT, rollout should be done within minutes. There's no additional project available, and also the certification for DIN ISO 27001, which comes with a data compliance. That's what are we talking about, and we had made a short analysis, and this is something maybe you can talk about, Andreas.
I will. The only thing, can you shut off your microphone and I start my microphone, because people are complaining to hear me. You need to shut off the microphone, the loudspeaker, Lautsprecher. Okay, I think that works now. Perfect. So let me go into that. And Gerd made a really good point. What is important for us, and most of you have a DAM system, and the important thing is that the DAM system is used across the whole organization, because this is leveraging all of your investment in a much better way than if it's just used as a point solution. So what we did when we defined our offering that we have starting this year with what we call the CI HUB family, is we looked at the typical organization. And so the Adobe guys are looking at their user base, and we try to compare that to a typical organization. So the creative professionals from our analysis, when we look into our almost 2,000 customers using a CI HUB, that's between 5 and 8% in an organization are really professional creators. This is the marketing department. These are the designers. These are the people that really define the brand and use the best possible products. This is where we have our professional connector. The second thing what we see is, the second thing what we see is that between 30 and 50% of an organization, these are people in sales, these are knowledge workers, these are office workers, these are people that are using an office product, a PowerPoint. They maybe use Figma and Sketch for designing product-related things. But this is the main amount of people in the organization. And what they do is they are using the branding approved material, what comes out of the agency or of the creative department. This is really a large user group that also traditionally is a very heavy DAM user, but is also very disconnected from the DAM. You know all of that, you go into the DAM, you find assets, you download the assets, and then you put it into brand approved material, but it's a manual process. This is where we believe there is a huge opportunity, as Gerd defined, to make things more efficient, more secure, and easier. So this is also where we have an offer, show you in a second. And the third thing in an organization, is between 50 and 70% of the users in an organization are very casual users. These are people that need an image from something. They need a product information. They need to have the easiest possible access to corporate data and to corporate assets, but they are not really a heavy PowerPoint user and they are not creators, but they still need to have access to a central repository. If we look at this whole requirement of a typical organization, the connector or the DAM vendors typically addressed the professionals and maybe some of the office users, but never really the consumer within the organization. And click. And this is actually where we believe with our offering that we have today, we can deliver a unified platform into an organization whenever it comes to the need of accessing corporate assets or corporate data. And this offering, the CI HUB Connector Professional, maybe you can click again. The CI HUB Connector Professional, this is the product what CI HUB is known for, the CI HUB Connector. This will become the CI HUB Connector Professional because we see that this is the tool for anyone creating material on a professional level, a designer, someone who's living in InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, who really wants to have the cutting edge tool for a really demanding user group. So we will deliver even more functionalities for the most demanding user group with the CI HUB with the CI HUB Professional Connector. And in addition, click, you will see from us what we call the CI HUB Corporate Connector. And the CI HUB Corporate Connector is the extension of the Professional Connector. It makes pre-approved, pre-produced, pre-thought branded material available to any user within the organization that needs these assets within the context. This is why you will see the CI HUB Corporate Connector also living in your PowerPoint, in your Sketch, in your Word, in your Excel, in your Google products, and in your Salesforce, in your HubSpot, in all of the professional tools, the office worker, the sales guy, the product owner needs to have assets. And the third one, which is what we call the CI HUB Drive. This is where we believe this is the easiest and best way for anyone and anywhere in an organization to access data and assets that are stored within the corporate repository. in a DAM system, in a SharePoint system, in an Adobe AEM system, wherever that asset is, you open your Finder, you open the Explorer, and you have immediately access to any asset in the DAM system with all the compatibilities you're wishing. It's completely respecting your security model. You only see assets that you're allowed to see. It's a tool that can be rolled out into an organization with almost no training, with no additional effort, because you can assume that if someone is able to use a Mac or a PC, he knows how to use a Finder and an Explorer. And if you can use a Finder and an Explorer, you have the full access to all of your corporate data in your DAM system or in any other repository. It's the DAM system for the desktop. We have defined it. It's really robust, it's easy to roll out, it's fully compliant with your internal security model, and it's a 10-second installation. So it's built for security, robustness, and mass rollout to 10,000s of users. And with this family of connectors that all share a common security model, they all share SSO interfaces to central repositories and logins. They all share the ability to set your profiles and your spaces so every user finds the assets right where he expects them, in the context he needs it, in a professional tool, InDesign or Photoshop, in an office tool, PowerPoint, Google Slides, whatever, or for anyone without a specific need in a Finder or an Explorer. And we do believe that this is an offering for any organization, regardless if you're a 3-people creative team or if you're a 150,000 people organization. Anyone in an organization needs access to assets and data. We all know this is the central thing you need to have access to. With that family of connectors and abilities to connect to your central repositories, we believe this is the first time organizations have a choice to make it easy for their users to get access within a security and a maintenance model that's easy, reliant, and delivers additional benefits on top of the investment that you've already done into these amazing DAM systems. The storage will keep the most important piece, but an easy accessibility is the way to leverage the investment into the global organization. So I think it's enough marketing talk. Gerd, how about I shut off my microphone and I will mute myself, absolutely, and hand over to Gerd. And then you see something. That's pretty cool. Gerd.
Thank you very much, Andy. So I've prepared maybe a 10-minute overview for the CI HUB Drive, what CI HUB Drive is doing and how it works. So let's get started. So as you can see, the connection to a DAM system via the Finder is quite simple. This is that little tool. You just search for any DAM system. When you find it, you click on the Add File button and you will redirect it to the login. Use your credentials, and that's all you have to do. And immediately when you're back in the Finder, you see on the left-hand side those virtual volumes. Every volume reflects the whole DAM system, and the whole folder structure is then directly available. There is an initial inventory to show the content of each folder with all its thumbnails, so you get immediately a preview. No high-risk files downloaded, it's just the thumbnail. And what we've built is, as long as you scroll down, you see that all the previews will come up on demand. So that's a huge performance thing. So we don't grab each of the thumbnails upfront. We are expecting the user to go somewhere, and then we create the thumbnails right in that, just in that time when the user scrolls to that position. Now, how does that work? I mean, you see that every file or folder structure is then represented. We had branded folders so that you, using multiple systems, you can see wherever you navigate through, this is a box system, or this is a binder or a Sitecore system, whatever. So the folders are branded. Each of the assets also can have tags like an approved item. So if you hover, you get a message, this is an approved item. You will immediately see if some assets are read only, they got that little lock item. So making those assets available locally, that's also quite simple. If you click that little icon, that cloud icon, it'll immediately make that asset locally available. So that's not only doable with a single asset, you can also use a bunch of assets, or which you will see in a few seconds, you can also use a folder and make a complete folder available. So that all works with multi-threading. So that doesn't mean that an asset is downloaded after another. That's a parallel process that runs in here. Making a folder available, it's just the same way. Just click on the icon or use the right mouse click to download now. And as you can see on the right-hand side, the assets will be made available immediately. If you don't need them any longer and you want to make them online only again, you just click on them and you say remove download, and that it'll keep the structure and the thumbnails, but it will get rid of the high-res files at that moment. And also, if something happens in the DAM, if there is a new version, that will all be reflected over here. We are always connected to the DAM, so if you click on it, that you will be redirected to the source system, to the image you just selected. And if it comes to managing assets, same feeling that you have with managing files within your Finder or Explorer. You just drag and drop assets, maybe from the DAM to your desktop. That's just drag and drop. Or vice versa, if you want to upload assets, you go to your local folder, select a bunch of assets, and move them to the folder in the DAM system where you want to have it. It's just how it goes. And as you can see, also multi-threading, that's really a huge performance when it comes to uploading assets. So another thing we have is even duplicating assets within the DAM works like you were used to in the folder. Just hold the Option key or whatever key in the Windows world, duplicate the asset, and the sync is automatically done with the DAM. And yeah, when it comes to moving assets between two systems, that's also doable. So on the left-hand side, I'm connected to a box system. On the right-hand side, to a binder system. So if I want to move assets from box, maybe to binder or any other DAM, you just drag and drop the assets into that respective folder. You don't even need to download them. The system knows automatically, okay, someone wants to copy these files to another system. They will be automatically downloaded and made available in the target system. When it comes to search capabilities, we did something very special. So we are able to create search folders. That means you create a folder, type a search term, and it'll automatically start searching the connected system for these assets. As you can see here, this is the result on the right-hand side. You can create multiple search folders. So let's say I'm looking for all my Excel sheets in the connected system. That's how it works. These folders will be stored. So frequently used searches can be just stored as a folder within the search folder, and you get immediate access. Another way of filtering assets is using the tags of the operating system. As you can see here, it's all the indices are done upfront, so it's very quick finding assets. Quick search is also working. If you're using the quick search, you see that assets with that legal CI HUB icon, they are found in the connected system. And of course, if you're using the operating system search, it also works perfectly. And it's very, very fast, as you can see. Yeah, when it comes to other files that are normally not stored in the DAM, that would make sense here in case when it comes to productions, like having ICC profiles available or job options available where you can just double click and make them available. For anyone who is in the office world, having contracts, managing contracts, they can do that also, or the sales managers using PowerPoint presentations, or the category managers dealing with Excel sheets. That's all what is doable here, and everything can be stored in the DAM. So the interface is quite simple. This is just that little piece of software. You can attach it to that main navigation bar in the Finder system. You can attach it or release it and then move it wherever you want to have it. Connections are multiple connections, how much systems you want to have connected in parallel. We don't care. You can store and load these profile settings. You have always an activity and history view within that panel. Everything what happens during the day is listed in here. You also have deep links that maybe gives you a little view. Okay. That's when you run a video within more than 10 seconds. That's not doable. Let's go back over here. Search. The files we had. And yeah, comes to the interface. Yeah, multiple connections. You can dock it to the main menu bar in the operating system. We have a whole history where everything is displayed. What happened yeah, during the day, working, all the downloads, all the uploads, everything is listed in here. And if it comes to previews, you can click that little preview image, you get a large preview. If you click the file name, the system will locate the file within the Finder where it's stored, or the Explorer. And if you click that deep link on the right-hand side, you will be directly led to the source system, directly to the image in the DAM system. So there are a few system settings where you can define, okay, I want to have maximum 2,000 files per folder. There is then a more button included. Yeah, there are some statistics on how that system has been used. And that's all we have in the connector family when it comes to CI HUB Drive. There are a few things which we can then talk about. So it's really a seamless user experience. If you're managing all your files in the operating system, in the Finder or in the Explorer, you have full control over the history. You even have some monitoring capabilities which domain you were recently using, how much traffic you have generated, and all that stuff. And when it comes to a normal file system or the CI HUB drive, there is an overview where you can see there's a lot of stuff in that is much better than just using the simple file system. When it comes to working set, capabilities management, custom metadata, and all that stuff. There's a few things that will come up over here.
Darf ich dazu?
You can.
Okay, let me just jump in here for 2 seconds. You see, this is the really the newest edition. I have a couple of questions here already in the questions panel. We do Q&A at the end, but there was an important question that on metadata, and I think that was not really covered really deep, but you have access to all of the metadata that are associated to an asset within Drive. And we are heavily working on making all of these available in the Explorer or in the Finder as an expanded view on the asset. And wouldn't that be cool if if you're in Finder and you have your custom metadata also in the Finder, and you can just drag and drop like you know it from all of the other CI HUB connectors right in where you need that stuff. So there is a lot of functionalities that will come after the first version. And talking about the first version, we are in an intensive beta test with our integration partners, so with all of the system vendors that made the decision to also make their DAM system available via the CI HUB Drive. Not all of the DAM systems will be in there automatically, but we are working on making them available to all of our partners here. That whole family of connectors and accessibility functionalities is what we really believe, if we come back to Gerd's initial point, is something that really makes the accessibility of assets in your corporate DAM system so much more efficient that we really believe that having all of the options and the different availabilities of the connectors in an organization and pick and choose whatever you need is a really cool solution. And sorry, I've clicked on the button that the video already runs. I'm really sorry, Gerd, that I messed it up. Maybe we can go back, because what we want to show you also is one of the functionalities in the professional connector, how easy a creator can use the professional connector in a PowerPoint environment. Good. May I can give you back, and you maybe rewind the video.
Okay, what you see here is how the connector works within a PowerPoint environment. So it's no longer where you store every PowerPoint presentation as a whole presentation, as a whole deck in your DAM system. You can always use masters to open that PowerPoint presentation. But when it comes to creating that stuff, you can also apply themes. So that means it's no longer having changes to be made manually. If you start applying themes from your DAM, it automatically creates the whole presentation with a new theme, which you can see here. So empty presentations will be automatically attached to a theme. If it comes to maybe providing information in the master slides, in the main slides, you can just drag and drop single slides into your presentation. So there is no need to have huge files available. So every salesperson can put any slide in here which is approved and create a presentation without any manual work at the end. Every asset can, every slide can have placeholders. So you don't need to work with master slides that use image placeholders. With the CI Hub connector, you can just drag and drop assets in there. There is no need to work with placeholders. Instead, you want to have replace all features in here, which you can also do. So that's quite simple. If your presentation is done and at the end a theme has changed or there are new brand guidelines, you just use the apply theme function to apply any theme into your presentation. And when it comes to linking assets from your presentation to the DAM, that's also something what we've included. So if you check for availability or compliance of your assets, you can do that against the DAM system. So the system checks every asset that has been placed within your PowerPoint presentation. And when that check is done, you will get a warning in that case here that one asset has been updated and there is a newer version available. You can have visual control. You say, okay, I want to go with the latest version, just click on it and relink it, and it will be updated within your PowerPoint presentation. So that could also work with multiple files. Doesn't have to be one single asset. You can do that with multiple files if they haven't been updated in here. Yeah, and once you're done, you can just simply say, I want to apply a new theme to my presentation. That's how it works. Every slide will change automatically and fit to the new brand guidelines or whatever, or color tables, whatever it is in the system. So that's what we're doing with the professional connector within PowerPoint, for example. But when it comes to the corporate version of the CI Hub connector, maybe you want to talk about that, or should I, Andreas?
Sure. So you have seen Drive now and the professional connector, and we would just like to give you a first glimpse on what we call the corporate connector. And that corporate connector is especially for the point number 2 Gerd mentioned in the beginning, is the idea of giving people access to pre-approved branded material within the context they are. We all know that brand portals are amazing tools. It's an amazing resource. It's a central web page that contains all of the information about the brand. But you have to go to that page. You have to read all of that stuff. You have to remember it when you're in PowerPoint. The idea with the corporate connector is that the brand portal will become part of your PowerPoint. So whenever you're in PowerPoint or in Salesforce or in Word or in another tool that we support, the idea is that the brand information is on hand where you really need it. So imagine you're creating a PowerPoint and you have your brand guidelines in PowerPoint, but the brand guidelines are already specified to everything what you need within PowerPoint. So you do not need to go through informations about how to create a business card, how to create a leaflet, what you need to know when you create a LinkedIn advertisement and stuff like that. No, everything what you need for PowerPoint is right where you need it. And all of the assets that you're using are prepared for PowerPoint. You do not get access to a 2 GB high-res image. No, you get access to a 72 dpi image that's pre-approved for the purpose you're using it. And this is what we believe a corporate connector, the CI Hub corporate connector, can deliver to an organization is simplicity and the ability that doing things wrong with the brand is more work than doing it right. That's the only way on how people are supported within their work and how we can help organizations leverage the brand investment. And this is why we believe it's a good idea to have the brand information in the product via the CI HUB panel. And the good thing is, with the CI HUB connector, it will still be a product that doesn't need any kind of configuration or setup, because it connects to the systems you already have. With CI HUB, you do not need to implement a new brand portal. No, if you have a brand portal, the CI HUB connector will connect to the brand portal and extract the informations that are needed. We are working with a couple of really amazing companies like Smint.io. They do have really amazing brand portals for general purpose, where everything is in it, what you need for your organization. And the CI HUB connector will connect to it and will display the informations in context right in the application. This is one part of how we believe that an organization should work with assets, and how we want to make sure that assets are used in the correct way, in the most efficient way. This is what it's all about. We all know that efficiency in an organization, leverage of existing investments is something that's really important. We want to deliver a part to that theme with our connector family. Good, I think.
One more slide, just that one.
Yeah. What is really important for us as a leading but small vendor is happy customers. So we really listen to whatever you want out there, and we try to build it in a product that is universally available, as simple to install as possible, and delivers a benefit also on the financial side to an organization. We try to make it really, really easy, and with about 2,000 customers and 1,500 reviews, we're really happy that we achieved that almost once a day. Perfect. Good. Next one.
We're nearly done. So, I mean, this is the part where we say, are there any questions?
Yes, and there are a lot of questions. I love that. So we are through with the official part. We would love to take questions, as many questions as you have. That's amazing. There's wonderful. Can an organization have all 3 CI HUB products? We would love that any organization has all of the 3 products. And yes, we do see customers using all of the 3 products, because all of the 3 products have different value propositions. Yeah, the professional is for the creators in the organization. Any feature, any button, any bell and whistle, what the professional creative helps achieve his work. The CI HUB corporate connector is the simplest product for anyone who's using branded material in his daily work context. Very easy way to find pre-approved assets, very easy way to check if everything what I'm doing is compliant, very easy way to share what I've done with my colleagues or with my customers. And the CI HUB Drive is for anyone who doesn't use an application but needs access to data or to assets. Yeah, and again, metadata is a really important thing. Yes, there is a lot of echo. I don't know why. Good. I am really sorry about the echo. Next time I do it better. Is it better now? I believe it is. Okay, so next question. You couldn't understand my answer. Okay, echo is gone. Perfect, thank you. So can an organization have all of the 3 connectors? Yes, they can. They all have different value propositions and they work together extremely well. So does the CI HUB Drive have filtering abilities? You saw that. We have filtering abilities, search abilities, and metadata. So all of them are there. It just depends on how many of these features are made available through the API of your connected DAM system. But again, our idea of the DAM at the desktop is really our mantra. We want to support all of the functions that delivers benefits to your organizations, and we find ways on how to make that available with all of the DAM vendors and the integrations. So how fast is the access to assets via Drive? We mentioned that before. We have implemented all of the efficiencies we can by only loading thumbnails in the first step, giving you the full ability to make a decision when you want to have a high-res or low-res. We give you the access to all of the renditions. And as CI HUB is built on security, CI HUB is never touching the asset. So the transfer between the DAM storage and the client is always a direct connection. There's no interference with anything from CI HUB. So with the CI HUB drive, you should experience the same performance as if you would have with the original system, maybe a little bit faster because we're handling things very efficient. But as you have seen in the demo, it's really fast and really efficient. And there is a question, does it handle the assets on the local drive? Yes, if the CI HUB drive would experience that there is less space on your local drive, it would immediately remove assets, the high-res carcass of the asset that has not been used for a longer time, and just reload it back if you really need it. So it handles the space on your drive itself, makes it really, really efficient. The price for both connectors, Drive and Pro, will be promoted on our website. And if you already have one of the products in place, there will be special introduction offerings. Just talk to your DAM vendor or talk with the sales guys via sales@CI HUB. We're always happy to help you with that. What happens if my DAM provider is not in the list on your website? This can happen, but we are absolutely open to talk to any DAM vendor in the world that has an interest in being connected to CI HUB. So whenever you experience that your vendor is not part of that list, ask them if they can talk with us. We're really happy to take on any vendor to our platform. That's the power of the platform, that you can connect to anyone at any time. That makes it so efficient and easy, to be honest. And maybe you don't know, Adobe made the decision to also switch for the core products like InDesign to a new technology called UXP. This will be a huge effort. Anyone who has old plugins needs to rewrite them into new code. And maybe that's a good way to make a decision to move to CI HUB, because our team is doing nothing else than making sure that all of the connectors we are selling are up to date with the latest function of any official platform. So we put a lot of effort into it, and that makes total sense from a scale perspective for anyone to use the standard connector for accessing assets. Okay, yeah, does it mean my sales team that have PowerPoints on their desktop could use in the future the DAM system? Yes. The DAM system is the single source of truth, and especially with Drive, you have an easy way to give people the ability to store whatever they need in the DAM system with central storage, with central backup, with everything what you want as an organization, and remove the need for storing assets on a local drive, because using Drive, the local drive, is as easy as your central storage system. So Drive makes it really simple.
It manages the roles and rights, which makes it more.
And very good point, Gerd. and it's completely compliant with your whole security model. No one in the Finder or in any connector is able to see assets that he is not allowed to see. You have the full central control of the access model based on your asset management and your DAM system. And yes, we do support Adobe AEM, and we do hope that in the near future, AEM will also be available for CI HUB Drive. The operator can work with InDesign directly on Drive. Yes, you can. That's a very common question asked also from our internal team. How does the CI HUB connector for InDesign, as an example, and CI HUB Drive conflict? And we don't see that. CI HUB Drive is a really easy way to access assets wherever they are. But it has the limitation on file system level. So if you use a connector in InDesign, you get gazillions of InDesign specific functionalities or PowerPoint specific functionalities. As Gerd showed, if you're in PowerPoint, you click a button, say switch theme, the theme comes from your DAM system and it switches. The connector can deliver these functionalities because it's in the application, and we will always make sure that we deliver cool functionalities that makes working with the connector in a specific product much more efficient than just using Drive. But there is a need, there is a place for Drive, even if it doesn't deliver the in-context functionalities. So, and be prepared, there will be a couple of really cool features where we will combine the Drive capabilities with the in-connector capabilities. We have a roadmap full of flowers that will make your life much more easy and simple. You will love what you see when you combine these two products. Are there any new systems that you will be connecting to soon that our customers should be aware? Oh, yes, we do that. You will see at the end of the quarter a Salesforce integration. We are working on a Canva integration. We are working on an AEM Sites integration. We are working on a HubSpot integration. So yes, the team is working constantly on adding new host systems, as we call them, and you will see them on a regular basis. Absolutely. Okay. Are there any plans? Yes. This is a really good question. Are there any plans to connect CI HUB connector with project management tools like ClickUp or Monday? Yes, there are. We already have an integration to Asana and to Adobe Workfront. And we will enhance our activity to connect more of these systems, because we do believe that not just having an asset, but also have the work task that's associated to an asset right in the application is key for efficiency. And you will see more of these integrations coming. I would assume you will see something before summer. Okay. We have 5 minutes left and no more questions.
We're in time.
Okay. I would say we are in time. We would really, really appreciate if you go to our website. We will publish a link that gives you an amazing overview on the 3 different products. You can try everything on the website. It's totally free of charge. There's no credit card requirement. You're not creating a subscription. Just try it and let us know if you love it, or if not, why. That's the only way on how we can improve our work, and we love improving our work. So Gerd, is there anything what you would like to add before we have a beer?
The only thing I would like to add is have a nice evening and thanks for visiting us.
Have a nice evening. Enjoy the evening. And anyone who watched the recording, have fun.